Alright, so this video is on how they made it illegal for me to exercise my First Amendment right to freedom of speech. How did they do this? Well, first of all, the media destroyed my name, and they refused to hear anything that I had to say. Then there was the two reporters who took my reports and twisted them into something that they weren't, lied to me outright, and made me out to look like a bad person for good ratings. Fair news, huh? No, you did it for money. It's disgusting. So the police refused to take my police report for months and months and months, while more and more people were threatening me and more officers were getting involved, making it so that I needed to make more reports and I needed to remember more information, and I still didn't have a place to go through all of this. Right now I'm in a Jeep. I got 2 bags of information in the back that I have to go through. In order to write my story, I should have been able to sit down somewhere where I could actually organize that stuff. But being constantly on the move, I don't get to. Also, having a routine is important. I have not been able to set up a routine since Natalie was killed. But that don't matter, does it? Because of my disabilities, it's illegal for them to do that, but it don't matter, does it? Because I'm supposed to be some sort of violent criminal who assaults police and fucking rapes little girls, right? Bullshit. When I went to Virginia, Natalie was at least 18 years of age. That is an adult. Not that you guys care. It's so fucked up. So then, repeatedly, I was prevented from speaking out. My YouTube was destroyed. That was a wonderful day. That's because people in these Natalie justice groups are actually Sean Schwartz hate groups, and anything that I tried to post, they tried to shut down. Anybody who tried to speak up for me, they threatened, harassed, and intimidated. They didn't actually show any evidence. They didn't. Instead, they tried to twist little bits and pieces that they knew that they were taking out of context to try to paint me as a bad guy, which I'm used to. They painted me as a terrible person to millions of people worldwide, and then prevented me from being able to defend myself to those millions of people worldwide. So that thing about me speaking out on Facebook, they wanted to call that harassment, but it's not harassment when they're doing it to me. What Danica was doing is apparently not harassment. What Shelly did was apparently not harassment. What Kara did was apparently not harassment. What Ted was doing is apparently not harassment. Meanwhile, I have evidence that connects Miss Shelly to Miss Kara, and it also proves that Miss Shelly was involved in the slander and harassment and destruction of evidence, as well as lying to me repeatedly. Then there's Jennifer Farina Bollinger trying to play it off like, oh, I'm going to take away all of our memories of Natalie. Didn't post memories of Natalie. You tried to bury evidence of your brother's wrongdoing in a whole bunch of posts. And in those posts, you were talking shit about me. Do you understand that that right there is slander? Huh? Over stuff you weren't there for, Jennifer. So that protection order that they were able to get illegally by preventing me from going to court and defending myself and showing that I was the one being threatened, harassed, and intimidated. Yes, Alicia, I have proof of you and your dad still in screenshots of the things that you did at my grandma's funeral. I also have screenshots of you saying that you were with Dalton Crawford at the time that he was threatening my life. I have screenshots of multiple people who claim to be friends of your family threatening my life. Alicia, you're a fucking monster. It's alright though, because you're pretty, right? Yeah, people listen to a pretty face. A pretty smile can pass a lie quicker than anything else. I don't have a pretty smile. I have no teeth. So I'm not going to lie through my teeth. What they did is make it illegal for me to speak out against the people who wanted to talk shit about me, who wanted to slander my name. It's illegal for me to speak about the Bollingers. It's illegal for me to speak about Natalie's family. Because of those protection orders, I wasn't allowed to go and defend myself against because I was in jail. Meanwhile, I had to deal with officers in that jail who had previously assaulted me and lied multiple times. Every single roommate that I had in the Arapahoe County Jail over that month and a half hated me. Do you know why? Because the whole time I was there, I was trying to get an investigator to take my report. In Larimer County Jail, they all hated me. I was put in a seclusion area where I'm only allowed an hour out each day. All of this, what I needed was to be able to see my friends, to see my loved ones. But none of these people have been prevented from seeing their loved ones, have they? The Bollingers get to see each other. Alicia gets to see the rest of her family. These officers get to go home to their families, don't they? So they tried to cut me off from my help by intimidating, threatening, and harassing the people who were helping me, and a lot of people left. So I screamed on videos, and pussies wanted to run away because they didn't like me screaming. Well, how do you think I like it? And then, with the warrants out for my arrest, anybody in Colorado who takes me in has to be afraid of getting their kids taken away and going to jail and losing everything. Because you can't pay your bills while you're locked up. And then they wanted to make it illegal for me to speak out and exercise my First Amendment right by preventing me from going to those court dates. It's still my First Amendment right, and I still will exercise it. I don't care what the protection order says. I care about doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I can't do it alone. Apes together strong. These people coordinated together to fuck me over. Meanwhile, a lot of the people that wanted to help me, they're paranoid over the same shit that I am. People will play nice and pretend to be helpful, and when it all comes down to it, it's about entertainment for them. Like this Taria Ali lady. She didn't mind twisting information and passing misinformation in these Natalie Bollinger groups. Now, if you can't make it to your court date, you have to have a piece of paper signed and in to the courts 7 days prior to you having to go to court. They prevented me from doing this in all 3 protection orders. The first one with Natalie Bollinger, 6 days prior to court. The second one, that I was not served, but they pretended to, in the Longmont Hospital, 6 days prior to court. They were only able to come and get me because I turned myself in. And I turned myself in on Facebook. I gave the phone numbers of who these people could call because the police didn't give a fuck about me. So, the slander from these people saying that I wanted suicide by cop. No, I wanted the cops to take a report. But their slander was used in court to prevent me from defending myself or speaking in court. The removal of my backpack and refusal to enter it in as evidence, even though things from that backpack were used to prevent me from having an honest day in court or from speaking on my own behalf, well, I got evidence of that too. I even got pictures of the sticker that was on the bag. It said safekeeping, not evidence. They're allowed to use it and I'm not. My lawyers refuse to look at it. Every fucking one of them, all the way across the board. And I'm some sort of crazy lunatic because I speak the truth. I'm just as afraid of as all of these other people. The difference is I don't have anything to lose except for the evidence, which I have had stolen from me repeatedly. I had it stolen by Lana and Amanda Engeline. Quite a bit of it, actually. They still didn't return it all. There's notebooks there that Miss Danica asked me to write down in the notebooks what was going on, times and days. Lana and Amanda didn't have those notebooks for me. And somehow I'm some sort of crazy person for still speaking out, for still fighting back. My First Amendment right was denied. My right to a fair trial was denied. My right to defend myself was denied. My right to go to court was denied. My right to an appeal was denied. And my own public pretenders are all doing the same things that my public pretender in Arapahoe County, Pamela Carty, did. Trying to get me to plead guilty to something so that they could absolve themselves, all of themselves, from their crimes. Pamela Carty admitted to being friends with the public pretenders in the other counties that I was dealing with, including Amanda Balehash and Zoe Tanner, Catherine Hay. Then they pretend like I have access to the phones. Meanwhile, a woman named Mandy sent me phone money while I was in the Arapahoe County Jail, and they wouldn't allow it on my books. They wouldn't allow me that phone time. They lost that money. Mandy had it taken off of her credit card, so it went somewhere. They said, well, maybe it went to another Schwartz in another part of the jail. There's another Sean Schwartz in the jail, is there? Then I was given court-appointed phone calls that I was not allowed to have. Repeatedly. Back when it made a difference. Back when people were actually paying attention and looking at it. That's when Candace did the worst thing that she could have ever done. She lied to me. She lied to the police. She went out of her way to twist something into something that it wasn't by pretending that I just went off on her for no reason. No, Candace did wrong and she knew it. Yes, I could make probably hundreds of millions of dollars off of suing all of these people involved. Also, while I was in Virginia, Natalie and Alicia were trying to get me a job working where their mother worked, Vico Construction. There's a guy who was on my Facebook from Vico Construction in Virginia, and he was claiming that he didn't know Natalie's mother, that he just had heard about the case and was interested. Maybe that's true, but the fact that you work where she works, and it's not that big of a place, lets me know that there's about a 99% chance that you're a lying piece of shit. These people harassed me and prevented me from having the money to defend myself. Forced me into a fucking meltdown. Who would not have a mental breakdown after this? I knew that my family wasn't going to help. They didn't care. They let me know that they didn't care. I called my dad 4 times. 4 times. Gave him my phone number every time that I got a new phone number. Left it on his answering machine so he could call, and he never did. Broomfield officers were able to tell my mom within days of Natalie disappearing that I didn't do it. Did that make any difference? No, because they didn't tell the public that. So I was assaulted repeatedly by the public, and I couldn't get the police to take a report about that. Yes, assisted suicide should be legal under these conditions. 100%. I need to find a way to get a lot of this one-of-a-kind evidence so that I can get it to somebody. Meanwhile, I can't even go through it to organize it. This is my house. That's all the shit in the back. My back was fucked up, so crawling back there to do something about it hurts severely. Thank you, Boulder Police Department, for that. Thank you, Officer Vigil, for that. These officers knew what they were doing is wrong. These Bollingers knew what they were doing is wrong. And then there's these Facebook wingnuts. Like Brooke. Yeah, Brooke, you're a fucking fake piece of shit. 100%, and I don't feel bad for anything that I have to say about you. I hope you do have cancer. I hope it doesn't kill you quickly. I hope it takes a long time, and I hope your boyfriend leaves you for that little, hey, check your messages that I wrote on your timeline on one of your posts. By the way, how is it okay for you to slander my name on my posts, but it's not okay for me to say, hey, check your messages when you haven't checked them in months? Yes, ma'am, I hope that cancer eats you slowly. I hope it's painful every single day. But I don't believe you have cancer. I think you're a terrible excuse for a human being, and there's no jokes about that.